I just got done installing this Harley Davidson license plate tag, or this cover, the frame, onto my 2014 Road King, and I wanted to tell you some of the problems I ran into. This is a Harley Davidson part. It's not an off-brand or anything like that, so it is Harley Davidson. If you were to mount it the way they had initially said, the frame itself, this frame, would have been up about another 1/2 to 3/4 inch. So I didn't like the way that looked, because if this was shifted up another 5/8 inch or so, I felt like the Harley Davidson name would not be seen very well from a distance. So I decided to drop the whole plate down and mount it that way. Well, if you drop the plate down, you will then have from the original frame, you will have a black piece that sticks out here and a black piece that sticks out this way. And I I didn't like the way that looked either. So I decided to cut the mount that the license plate was originally on. It's the stock mount. We originally, with the screws and plastic screws or whatever bolts, it was mounted with originally. So in order to take this metal black backing off, I had to take this whole light assembly off, because the black is connected to the back here with a couple Allen head screws. So you have to take all this off, not this, but all this chrome frame here, your rear tail lights, your left and right turn signal assembly. You got to take that off your fender. There are 2 bolts inside here, one on this side, one right up inside here, and one right up inside here. Okay, you take those 2 bolts off, and this whole thing, this whole assembly will come loose. It'll be held together by the wiring that is going to the lights there. Then you can get to the 2 Allen heads. There's an Allen head here, and there's an Allen head on this side that will allow you to unscrew the black plate. So I got that whole assembly off, then I took off the black plate, and then I was able to cut that black plate off. I cut this piece off that was right here, this piece right here, and in addition to doing that, I had to drill 2 holes, one here, so I could mount this correct the way I wanted to mount it. So once I got that done, I used a Dremel to cut everything. The metal is pretty thick. You're going to need either a hacksaw or a Dremel. Once I got that done, I went ahead and repainted it. So this has been all repainted black up in here, this piece right there. And as you can see, it actually came out pretty good. And once I repainted it, then I went ahead and mounted everything back on the way I wanted it. And I noticed as I was putting the whole assembly back that these 2 screws were coming very close to my fender. So I had to cut the screws. I had to cut these 2 screws off. These 2 Allen head screws, shorten them. The 2 top ones are fine. There's enough distance back there that it doesn't make a difference. But these actually do get very close, and I think if you pushed in a little bit, it would go in and hit the paint. So I had to cut this one and this one. So once I cut those off, I was able to just put these 2 bolts back in, and up here and up here, and remount it. And as you can see, I think it looks much better than the way they had originally intended. So what started out as what I thought would be a 10, 15, 20-minute job at tops ended up taking me about 2 hours, between the removing of the whole assembly, removing the piece off, cutting took a long time, painting, letting the paint dry a little bit, and then finding out after I got it put closer together, I actually had to redo it and take these 2 bolts off, didn't have to take them off, but I had to cut them. Excuse me. So then I had to mount it back up in there, and there's not a lot of room in there to work with the wrench, so it does take a while to take these on and off. You can only do like a real small turn each time with my with your wrench there. So anyway, but I am very happy with the way it looks. I think it looks much better than what they had originally planned of moving this up, this whole frame up another 5/8 or an inch, half an inch or so. I think from the backside it looks better. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. If anybody runs into problems, I thought I'd just show you what I did, and I think you'll like that better.